stood out. I think you see his strength on tape in each game you watch. We really had a high grade on him. He played obviously at a high level of competition, and you see the consistency, and there were just a lot of things to like with the player. But yeah, there's a versatility element relative to I think he's a center, and look, Nick's someone who's played center and played guard. We just felt real good about the vision for him on our team and helping our team.
Joe, was any players or group of players you consider a key guy, or was that
He was kind of the guy coming in today. You know, you paying attention last night. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was someone that was selected at the towards the latter part of the first round, and you started seeing the corners go early today like we thought would happen, and a few of the receivers, and you just kind of pay attention, you begin talking with a few teams, but he was different than, he wasn't in a group. He was one of the, I would say, probably the target coming in here this morning. We're just feeling like this would be, the vision's clear, and certainly we felt really good about his talent.
Was it hard to match up with a team and get where you wanted to get him?
Well, yeah. I mean, you start that process maybe 5, 6, 7 picks into the second round, and we had multiple conversations with a number of teams. So, fortunately, it worked out.
When you had him as the vision this morning, were you thinking he might slide to 62, or were you always?
We felt strongly that he wouldn't make it to 62. That was one thing, and that we didn't think he would be there at that time.
In the past, you said if you had like a first-round grade, this guy you had like a first-round.
Yeah, I think. Specifically, probably either. I think we probably had a real early 2 on him. But yeah, we were pretty confident that he wasn't going to be available if we stood pat.
When did y'all start to kind of zero in on him? You said you started.
Well, I think what time the draft started. So the drafts tonight, or more specifically through the process. I think in our, you start with obviously your winter reads, and then throughout the spring and the workouts. But it still gets back to the tape and watching that, and obviously all the other things he checks the boxes with, but the tape we felt was real good, very consistent. So there were a lot of things to like.
How important was it to get 4 too? I mean, to add another tape?
Yeah, I mean you're working with other teams to try to come up with what you think is fair value on both parts, and so yeah, that kind of puts you back in. I know we're in the 3rd round here, and we're going to finish up this pretty soon, but it gives you just a little bit more flexibility as well.
Sean, was center a high priority because Max retired?
Well, it wasn't going to be. It's one of the reasons we brought Nick in, and so we just felt like an interior lineman was going to be important for us. We've got some younger guys that are competing at that spot, but I think it was a little bit of a combination of just the right fit, but also more importantly than anything else, we really liked where our grade was with the player and his consistency and the things that he brings to the locker room.
Initial vision, where you see him center go at first?
Center, I think. I mean, we'll see once he gets here, but I see him, the position he played in college, and let him come in. Nick as well. There's both of them are smart guys that we feel like, have that flexibility. But it's early now. But I think, we see him as someone coming in as a center.
39 career starts. Clearly, like his durability.
Yeah, consistency, all those things. Were impressive.
Sean, what about his off the field? I see he's won like a lot of leadership type awards. Did you pick up on any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think when the area scout comes back and then the cross-check comes back, pretty soon you're getting a guy that we feel like is going to fit in here. He's tough, he's durable, he's well-liked captain, all those things. So those are all part of it, and you put all of that together along with a good football player, and we feel like we helped ourselves in that round.
It seems to be an annual question the past few years. Will you feel comfortable trading future, high pick?
Well, it's a second next year. We think it'll be a later second, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, it was, if there wasn't that specific target, we would have been real comfortable letting the draft come to our pick at 62.
Sean, do you see him as a guy that could play right away as a starter?
We'll see. All these guys have a transition to make. It's hard to predict that sometimes. He's smart, and yet I think in fairness to the process and the veterans that are here, there's a lot that has to happen for young players to come in. And I think the first thing will be, him getting up to speed with what we do. And, yeah, I mean, he'll come in and compete. But I would never just predict that. I mean, we think he's been a real good football player at college. And our gut and our instincts tell us the same thing will happen at our level. But all of that, he'll earn.
The Texas A&M ties, how much does that help in scouting a player making this move?
I kid these guys. We got one more Texas A&M player in here. Coach will be over the limit. No, it helps at times, but it really starts with the scouting process. The coaches that are here are removed from staffs, and look, it's more about the relationships with coaches there, even their head coach, who we know real well and spoke extremely high of Eric. All of that gets into the makeup grade that you're putting on a player. The tape, I think, speaks for itself. That's the starting point.
How much does it help when McCoy goes up against this big-time competition?
Yeah,
how much does that help?
It's important. You get to see him against guys he's going to play against at this next level. It's more challenging when it's a smaller school, and it doesn't eliminate the smaller school prospect, but it's when you see the level of competition, the conference he's playing in, some of the better defensive tackles in our country in this draft are coming out of the SEC, and so he was very, very consistent. He's a physical player. He's smart.
How do you feel now having Eric and Nick compared to when you initially heard that Max was retiring?
Yeah. Look, you never want to lose a player like Max, and I mean he was a great player for us, but you identify the need area and you address it if it's available without going out and trying to create players that fit the need. In this case, we felt real good about signing Nick. He's played at a high level at both center and guard, but so I mean I think a little bit better than the night after Max was retiring. And look, we were well informed and on top of and knew where Max was kind of leaning, and he and I had a number of discussions. We share the same agent, so it wasn't something that caught us off guard. It was really trying to get through the process where the season's over and give him the necessary time to make a decision like that.
Anything happened first or now the second round that caught your attention?
No, I think yesterday we talked about it. It was fairly unremarkable. The first round went fairly smooth. There were a few selections maybe that were surprising, but no, I thought it went fairly quickly, I guess, and maybe there were a few picks, but other than that, I thought it was pretty normal.
Sean, Eric said that at his pro day, Dan worked him out and went over film with him. What were Dan's reactions?
All of it very positive. We got to a lot of workouts at certain positions, and you just kept checking boxes. They were good. They were clean. For me, it was just watching. I wasn't at the pro day. Certainly was able to see the tape, combine, all of that. But you just watch the film, and it's pretty impressive.
What do you think when you saw the Dolphins flip 62 for Rosen?
Yeah, well, I think that was, we'd heard, they were looking to find a quarterback. So that was kind of discussed a little bit yesterday. Yeah, so it wasn't really surprising.
Is that a pretty startling turn of events when you think back to grading Rosen last year?
Well, look,
suddenly
there's a fit that happens at times, and there's another team that, that has a level of interest. So going from a first-round pick to a second-round pick, there's still a commitment by a team. Arizona, for them, probably, good business if they felt they wanted to move in a different direction offensively. I can't speak for the other teams, but, it obviously is a position that is coveted and important. So it wasn't that surprising. I guess the compensation was something, we were all curious to see.
When you say there were discussions, do you mean between you and the Dolphins yesterday?
No.
Or just about Rosen?
No, just discussions about, I think it was the destination of where he might go after Kyler Murray was selected. There were a few teams, and that was it. You got a haircut, Mike?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Where's the suit today?
Huh?
I thought we were going to get a suit.
I had the suit on yesterday. Yeah, all good.
Were you worried if you picked a defensive player that Deuce might scratch it out, pick someone else?
Now, listen, between Deuce and Jari, they're two different personalities. They both did a good job. Anytime you move up, you're just, between the two of them, they haven't missed many buffets, so we were wanting to make sure if they weren't sitting in the lunchroom, when we're trying to make a selection, but those guys represented us well. All right.